Okay, so today we're in the account of Jacques. He said he's been playing for about 2 years. And he's actually had some account coaching from Hell Hades before. He showed me a link to that video, and I actually remembered the video. It was one that I watched when it first came out. And I'll link to that in the description, so if you guys want to watch his original coaching session with Hell Hades from about a year ago, you can. And then that way you can kind of see how far he's come. But at that point, he was like, he had just gotten Vizix. Okay. Technically, his Great Hall has advanced further, but for 2 years in, I would really like to see a lot more development. My account, which is just over 9 months in, has everything up to at least level 6, and then a few level 10s as well. But this isn't horrible. When I open his champions, I'm expecting to see some really good spirit champions based on his distribution there. Okay, he's done with the challenges. That's good. You should always do your challenges because it's just free rewards. He's got his Arbiter. That's good. Reach Bronze 2 in Tag Arena. Okay. Just real quick, I want to see what he's working with Tag Arena. Okay, so he's got easy defense set. I like this. The reason this is good is because you lose and then you downrank, and it makes it easier for you to find other people who have easy defenses set. Okay, so that's good. It makes farming easier. I don't know if he's working on Drex. He may not be. He did not finish Drang, which is a bummer because Drang is awesome. I'm looking for Drexler right now, though. Okay, so he is big at getting Drex. He's like a third of the way there. Honestly, if you push hard, like big time hard in the paint, like on my account, I managed to pick up Drexler like right here. It's about a week before I got Dark Elhain. So he's obviously not putting too much time in Tag Arena. That's definitely something I would work on. Because Drex is an amazing HP burn champion. He's got a lot of silver. That's good. I don't think he wanted me to actually go in and change everything. I think he was specifically looking for coaching. So, okay. Let's look at Clan Boss first. He said he can 2-key Ultra Nightmare. I guess he hasn't used his keys yet. He said he could do it on any affinity. Oh, okay, so 1-key night. Wow, it's not even an unkillable team. The fact that he can 2-key Ultra Nightmare with a traditional team is pretty impressive. It's not defaulting to start on auto, so I don't know if there's some kind of setup for this. I'm assuming it's a 2-1 team. I'm not going to mess with it because I don't know what Clan Boss setup he's doing, but he says he can 2-key, and I'm going to take his word for it just because he's got block debuffs to block Spirit Affinity. I'm assuming somebody's in a toxic set. We'll look at that in a second. Otherwise, I'm not really sure what Vizier's doing in there, because he can't extend the smite from Brimstone. That's not something that happens. So let's look at his Clan Boss team. It was Valk. It was... Okay, he's got a lot more 60s. That was one of the main critiques Hell Hades had, was he didn't have enough 60s. So he's been doing good on that front at least. Someone's got to be a toxic, right? Who else was it? Valk. Sepulchre Sentinel. Deacon. Deacon was the last one. Oh, Deacon isn't toxic. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. 188. Maybe that's not a 2-1 team. I'm honestly really confused by that. I honestly don't know. I'm a little confused by the setup. But if it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't know if you're just turning off Deacon's turn meter boost. Maybe that's what you're doing. Okay, so he turned off. Okay, this makes perfect sense. So Deacon is just there for decreased defense and Leech for healing. So let's look at the dungeon teams. Actually, let's take a look at Infection Wars real quick. Okay. Okay, so this is good. This is one of the easier ones just because of cell. Also, you have... Okay, so that's awesome. I did notice we only have 1 star in Dwarfs. It's a little puzzling. 3 stars in Shadowkin. Like 2 years in, I would expect to see a lot more crypts like this. Yeah. Cleopteryx is a great champion. This is the best Skinwalker period for Faction Wars. Gnarhorn. Basher's a good champion. This is good. Like, you've got good champions. You just need to take the time to invest in them. But I use Gnarhorn for Doom Tower hard until I got Vizix. That's how good he is. Don't sleep on Gnarhorn. Let's see. Okay, so I would like to see more progression in Faction Wars. And that's just something that's going to take time and resources. Let's look at this primary arena team. Okay, so he is in Gold 5. That's good. It looks like he's winning against other, like, real teams. He's not just farming one night. Like, look at this. That's pretty good. Let's see what his... Oh. Well, that makes sense. Let's look at how these teams are built. I'm assuming it's decent, at least. Hold on, what's his... 18 wins. So he's only... Let me look at my account just to see. Okay, so for this session, this week, I have 253 wins and 6 losses. So I've played 259 arena matches this week. He's played 28. So not very active. This is really something that's going to go a long ways towards hurting your account. Getting your defense up here, getting your HP up here, your accuracy. These are all things that you're going to need if you want to progress in Doom Tower hard, which is an area he said he was struggling in. So I'm going to look at that and see if I can come up with a general purpose wave clear team in a second. We'll get to that. First, I want to look at his dungeon teams. Okay, this makes a sense when you look at the... Okay, we do have a decreased speed champion. We have heals. I'm not really sure what to... Oh, decrease attack, damage, and protection. Okay, that seems fine. It's probably just a gear issue as to why you can't push higher. That makes a lot of sense. That's fine. And Great Hall, I mean, let's face it, your Great Hall being so scant is really hurting you. Let's check out Ice Golem's Peak. 3 minutes is not a bad Ice Golem time. I'm assuming it's mostly poison damage. This is an interesting choice. Not really. I've used her in an unkillable clan boss team in the past. It's really slow speed. She's got enough accuracy to land her debuffs. Crit rate is fine. She's not really built for damage. I don't really honestly know what she's doing. Oh, maybe decrease attack, AoE. But doesn't Venomage do that? It might not be AoE. I haven't attacks one enemy. Okay, so it's AoE decrease attack. You know, work with what you got, I guess. That's fair. We'll look around in a little bit and see if we can find anything better. Okay, so he's got a fast spider team. Okay, this is great. This might be the best team on the account. I like this a lot. This should actually work on 25 too, does he? Yeah, 30 seconds on 25. So spider team is perfect. We don't need to touch that. 1 minute for Fire Knight 20 is really respectable. Oh, this is Dragon. Derp. It's not bad. He hasn't really pushed past that yet, though. Let's look at Fire Knight. 143 is actually pretty good for Fire Knight, too. Too cool. Yeah, I mean, Ninja is a really good champion, even on dungeons where he's weak affinity. But I'm going to look around the account a little bit more and see if I can come up with something better. So let's look at the builds of all of his champions. Like, his teams are good, but for having played for over 2 years, I'd expect to see a little bit more progression. So I'm going to be polite but critical, because he's had coaching sessions in the past from Hell Hades. Accuracy is good. Speed isn't terrible. It's not bad attack. Decent crit damage. Like he's got good enough survival stats and he's got decent damage. So Ninja's good. That's good. That's good. Obviously speed tune for clan boss. That's fine. Good. This isn't going to be good enough for Doom Tower Hard. To get towards the tail end of Doom Tower Hard, you need like 350 to 400 accuracy. But the rest of the stats are perfect. So, and if I'm building a Doom Tower Hard team, I'm definitely bringing Vizix. Let's look at the Siphi build. No necklace. She doesn't need accuracy. 250, yeah, I mean, that's fine. Where's Arbiter at? 300. Okay, so something you could do is get Siphi faster than your Arbiter. I mean, I guess it depends on the banner. 13 speed. Okay, 20 speed. Still, if you make Siphi faster than your Arbiter in areas like Arena, when you're facing Tormund the Cold, if Siphi is the first to act on your team, she places block debuffs so the rest of your team can't get frozen, and then Arbiter can go second after Siphi and give a bigger turn meter boost with her A3 here. So that would just making that swap will allow you to fight Tormunds in the arena. So that's just something, one small change you can make that'll have a huge impact. Let's look at the Madame here. His arena debuffer. That's good. That's fair. 201 speed. That's fine. And Candrafon was his nuker. Speed boots. That's fine. I don't hate speed boots. Candrafon probably doesn't need. Well, I don't know. Crit damage gauntlets. Attack chest. Speed. Crit rate. I mean, this is not a bad Candrafon build. And if he's killing people, I guess you don't need to worry about attack boots. Okay, well, I guess, I mean, if it's working, it's working. It seems like when he does do matches, he wins sometimes, so it's fine. Achak is going to be very vital, I think, for Doom Tower Hard. Speed is good, accuracy is good, but not for Doom Tower Hard. We're going to need more accuracy. Now, he said a big part of the reason why he couldn't do Doom Tower Hard is because he just couldn't deal enough damage and the fights took forever. He said he didn't have a seer. Okay. This Blood Gorged will come in, like, big time come in handy as you get high into Doom Tower and you have to fight encounters where there's 2 revivers, like 2 Siphis or 2 Duchess. This one right here, Decapitate. Also, you could use this to kill Rotos. Attacks one enemy, ignores defense. Enemies killed by the skill cannot be revived. So, any block revive champion is extremely important for pushing high into Doom Tower Hard, especially when you're still in progression and you can't just instantly one-shot the waves with Seer. Personally, I use Phoenix because he's the only one that I have aside from Armiger. But this will be an answer for you when you get there. When you're like, I can't get past this wave with the gosh darn double Siphi or the double Duchess or the 3 Rotos or whatever. This is your answer when you get there. So keep that in mind. This is going to be another champion you want to invest in. Because if you can't damage them down and kill them instantly, the other option is crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control. You don't care about damage. You just want crowd control. Lock them down with stuns. Provokes from Vizix. Here. Freeze them out with A-check. Freeze them down with A-check. Stun them with Astralon. Provoke them with Vizix. And then what you need is an HP burn champion. Mordecai will work perfectly fine to be your primary damage dealer. Okay? Now, if you had done the Walking Tomb Drang fusion, he would be the perfect answer because you don't need to build accuracy into his kit. So rather than trying to build an HP burn champion with 400 accuracy, you just build Drang. And again, that's where your Great Hall is going to hurt you. Okay? Every day, you get 10 arena refills from your daily playtime rewards. Get 10 arena refills here. You get 5 more from purchasing a mystery shard in the market. That's 15. And then 1 every hour. So 24 plus 10 plus 5. That's 39. You should be spending all 39 of those arena tokens every day. Progress this Great Hall. Build your accuracy. When accuracy is done, build your defense, build your HP, and then crit damage and attack could come next, but you might even start working on resistance. Okay, it's going to be huge. And like, it really breaks my heart to see. Okay, Akoth the Seared is another HP burn champion you could use. His is on a 3-turn cooldown, but his is on a physical hit, and it gets worse when you whittle down to like 1 enemy. So against Tormund waves, when you kill everybody and then Tormund pops back up, if you're relying on HP burn as your primary source of damage, you only have a 20% chance to place that burn. So you might as well go with Mordecai. But he has additional utility. He has a chance to place fears as like additional crowd control. So that's kind of clutch. But Mordecai has turn meter manipulation in his kit. You don't have to worry about weak hits, so you might just stick with Mordecai. It breaks my heart to see that you didn't get Drang, because he would be it's who I used. I'm going to do a video on my Doom Tower progression team in a couple weeks. But basically, it's going to be what I just told you. HP burn is your damage. 2 to 3 crowd control champions. Oh, speaking of crowd control champions. Get Yakarl the Scourge. Frost Daddy Yakarl. You're sitting on all this clan gold. Buy Yakarl the Scourge fragments. He is my new favorite champion. Like, he's going to be the centerpiece of this Doom Tower progression video that I'm going to show you guys. It's Yakarl, Vizix, Walking Tomb Drang. And then like 2, like a speed champion and a flex support. Speaking of speed champions, I see that you have Siphi and Arbiter and Deacon. I'm looking for like someone who places an increased speed buff on all your champions. Hi Katoon. This might be your answer. Like, increasing the speed of all your champions by 30%. Where are the rest of your champions? This is also concerning to me. Okay. You might, if it's probably too late. I don't know how far in you're at, But since you don't have another speed champion, wait, you don't have any of the rares so far. It's probably too late. I was gonna say, do this fusion, because she would be the perfect. Like, she's got all battles aura, increased speed, increased turn meter, decreased turn meter. Like, this would be the perfect answer for you. Decreased speed A1. Like, this would be your Doom Tower speed champion, if you were like, but you're already it's already too late. Let me just check real quick. 10 hours left of Fire Knight. Yeah, this is just lack of effort. When you don't use your resources to get more in the game, you really only hurt yourself. Like, this makes me really sad. Like, for someone who's been playing for 2 years, you have the resources available. You could have got that fusion, and she would have been great Doom Tower progression champion for you. But you didn't do it. It's kind of heartbreaking. So yeah, I would venture to say you're not a. That's actually really good. That's more than a top, like, that's double what you need for a 1 key top chest. You could probably be pushing up into hard. I mean, if it's good to get 2, and get 2 for your whole clan. But you know, what I would recommend is use your A team on hard, and then cobble together a B team for normal. So that way you get multiple Hydra chests every week. That's going to give you more awakenings. Okay, so we're on normal. I asked him to save me some keys, so we could try to put together a Doom Tower hard team. Okay, I know that Valkyrie's great, and you love her more than anything in the world, and she's been such a hard carry for your account over the years, but you don't need her for this. We're going to keep Deacon as your speed champion, just because he does the turn meter boost once every 2 turns, and he's going to be pushing the enemy turn meter back once every 2 turns. So, since you already have Deacon, I'm not going to say build High Katoon, but I almost prefer High Katoon just because she places the increased speed buff. Siphi might be better. She also places the buff, but it's on a 4-turn cooldown. So this speed buff is going to fall off and not come back. It's like you're not going to have good enough uptime on the speed buff with Siphi. But she does do block debuffs, and that's going to be a great flex support slot option for Torment waves. So we'll keep her in. Stun is good. Decreased attack is fine. But if we're locking them out of the game and never letting them have a turn, we don't need decreased attack. HP burn is going to be your damage. Crowd control. And then we can do crowd control here. Or who else? Oh, Achek. That's who we had. There he is. Okay. What's the cooldown on that freeze? 3 turns. Perfect. It's not a 100% chance to land, but it should be okay. I'm just going to do auto and show that this could work. So the only way that we're dealing damage in this team is with the HP burns. Those HP burns going off, that's what's going to get us our damage. The counterattacks are going to be a pain in the butt. Skullcrusher has a passive called Unshakable that decreases the duration of all debuffs on him by 1 turn at the start of each turn. So it makes him a little slippery and hard to crowd control, which is why the enemy team is getting these counterattack buffs up. So in most situations, the crowd control we have will do fine. It's just not that effective against Skullcrusher. And because the counterattack buffs are going up, Provoke is not a very effective means of crowd control on this particular enemy wave. But it should be fine in most other situations. Another thing I overlooked with this team, because I don't have Achek and I've never really played with him, is that the synergy between his freeze and Mordecai's burn. Like, his passive is going to just make it so you get a ton of turn meter boost and a ton of extra healing. So that's just a really good pair, and it's going to be really powerful for progression in Doom Tower. You'll want a speed champion. If you ever pull Lady Kimmy or Lysandra, or if you would have completed the fusion, that might be the way to go. But we do have increased speed from Siphi here, so this might just be the team that you have to go roll with. If you level up Astralon, you could potentially replace Physics and get a stun instead of a provoke, but the 4-turn cooldown makes it a little bit more tricky. So that's something to consider. But just crowd control, keep your team moving fast with your speed champions, and then whittle them down slowly with HP burn, and you will get through Doom Tower hard. Assuming you have enough accuracy, and you can keep your team alive. So that's my recommendation for Doom Tower hard. Moving forward, do arena more. You should have like 250 more arena battles this week. If you want to make it to endgame and push Doom Tower, build your Great Hall. Fight in the arena. You have a really good team. I don't have Madame Cerise on my account. Like, I am envious of your team. I don't know if you got enough accuracy for this, but like, Candrafon is such a great nuker. You have the best decreased defense and decreased attack buff stripping champion, and you have the 2 best arena speed boosters. Some could argue Lady Kimmy brings more utility with her buff strips and stuff. Oh yeah, and make Siphi your fastest so you can counter Tormund teams. And that's it. You're on the right track. Your builds are so much better than they used to be. Like, you've improved. Clearly, you know how to build champions now. The coaching sessions that Hell Hades did for you a year ago paid off. You've clearly listened to the advice. Now it's just a matter of getting your ass in there and playing the game. No more half-assing it. Okay? It's time to put your big boy pants on, do arena, and just build your Great Hall. And you'll be good. That's all you got to do. Just play the game. So hopefully this was helpful to you. Hopefully it was helpful to the viewers. Hopefully everybody learned something. And if you want to see more about that Doom Tower team that I was talking about, stay tuned because I have that video coming in the next couple weeks. The most common denominator I've noticed with all these accounts I've done takeovers for is the players who are struggling to progress in the game are players who play it very casually. You gotta be in it to win it, baby. Your account isn't gonna just magically progress itself. You gotta do arena. You gotta do tag arena. Like, get your Great Hall advanced and you will progress in the game. When it comes to Faction Wars, you just have to buckle down and build the champions. Faction Wars isn't going to beat itself. You just got to dedicate the time and resources to it, and eventually you'll get there. Also, fusions aren't going to complete themselves. Like, you got to play the game to get the fusions. That's really all it boils down to. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned something, and if you didn't, I at least hope you found the video entertaining. So until next time, everyone, happy raiding.